in lanes 5 and 6. But the odds-on favorite, and a man who might possibly break his own world record in either the semifinal or the final, Maurice Greene of the United States, who is running in lane 4.
This is step 3 of 4 steps for Maurice Greene and the other athletes for that matter. We've seen him marching around like a caged tiger, which has become his trademark in recent races. Young Shirvington from Australia, who had a false start, and had therefore got to discipline himself very carefully in order to take part in this race. 2 scratches. Frankie Fredericks, we believe, has gone because he wasn't too sharp yesterday in round 2, and he's saving himself for the 200 meters.
Since 1988, this is how the world record has progressed to the current standard of Maurice Greene, 979.05 seconds off the clocking of Donovan Bailey at the Olympics in Atlanta in 1996. Streete-Thompson, Shirvington, Dwain Chambers, Greene, Tim Montgomery, and Darren Campbell, with lanes 5 and 7 empty.
Shirvington may be gone. That was lane 2. And he's already had 1 charge, so he will now become, unfortunately for him, a spectator.
Matt Shirvington, who is the big Australian hope for the Olympics next year in Sydney, is going to be eliminated with 2 false starts. You see both the yellow and the red flag. And disappointment for this 20-year-old who made such a huge improvement in moving from junior to senior competition from 10:29 to 10.03. So now the field has been reduced to 5, and 4 of them will move on.
And if we get another false start, of course, all the 4 have to do, the remaining 4, is a walkover. They've just got to jog up the track and they qualify for the final. And I'm sure they don't want to do that. There's Shirvington well ahead of the field and realizes the disaster that has befallen him.
And I'm sure some of our viewers will recall what happened in Atlanta in 1996 when Linford Christie did exactly what Matt Shirvington has done. Twice he false started and went out of the race. Although Shirvington leaves, Linford Christie had to be escorted away from the starting blocks.
Further tension now for the remaining athletes, and as we have mentioned many times before, the starter too. The crowd tend to get on the starter after a series of false starts, but he cannot let the athletes go. As we see Greene making his final preparations, he is not empowered to let those athletes go until they are all motionless in the set position.
And that's one of the things that the experienced runners are able to contend with, to eliminate the false starts from their thought process, to refocus on the task at hand as they settle down at the start line. This time they are away cleanly, and flying out of the blocks is Maurice Greene, being challenged on the inside by Chambers. And as they come up to the finish line, it is Maurice Greene easing up in 9.95. Chambers was second. Maurice Greene, 9.91 in the quarterfinal, 9.95 here in the semifinal. He is in form, and the world record, the 9.79 clocking from June 16th in Athens, might just fall tonight.
This time a good start. Greene and Chambers to his left away well. Also in lane 1, Streete-Thompson running well. And it's not until around halfway that Greene begins to impress himself on this field. And I'm sure this is in significant part due to the fact he's run some outstanding 200s this year. Here he wins by a comfortable 1.5 meters from Chambers. So this man is clearly ready. The last 30 meters he began to impress himself on this field, eases off, gently going over that finishing line. A very confident, inspiring run for the world champion and world record holder.
Maurice Greene, officially 9.96, his winning time. Another sub-10-second performance by Maurice Greene. Bruny Surin had a 9.95 clocking in the quarterfinal round, and 7 times Bruny Surin has been under the 10-second mark. His best time, a wind-aided 9.88 at the Canadian Championships in Winnipeg at the end of June. Bruny Surin running 9.95 in the quarterfinal round, finishing just behind Maurice Greene, who was clocked in 9.91. In his quarterfinal round, Geoff, you thought that maybe he lifted up just a little too soon, did not keep his head down for perhaps as long as he should have.
Yes, it can be deceptive, however. The head is a good guide. It's the rudder of the body in many ways, but you can't be fooled if just the head is down. The trunk has got to stay lower as well so that they can apply force more effectively in the opening 20 meters.
These are the best times that have been posted this year in the 100. Maurice Greene's 9.79, of course. Bruny Surin had a 9.92 clocking in June. Addo Bolden, because of injury, bypassed the World Championships, and Frankie Fredericks, who was slated to run in the first semi-final, scratched to concentrate on the 200. Obadele Thompson, who is a training partner of Bruny Surin, runs in lane 4. The first 4 will move on to the final. It is Dobos of Hungary in 1, Harden of the United States in 2, Bruny Surin in 3, Thompson in 4, Jason Gardner of Great Britain in 5, Leonard Myles-Mills of Ghana in 6, Davidson Ezinwa of Nigeria in 7, and Brian Lewis of Great Britain runs in lane 8.
In lane 5, I've been impressed by Jason Gardner. He's made it look very easy, but there is a difference between the quarterfinal and the semi-final. It will be interesting to see how Bruny handles the last 30 meters, because this is where Maurice Greene imposed himself fully on his semi-final.
And moving out of lane 8, it appeared to be Brian Lewis of the United States with the false start.
I don't think it was a false start, Don. I think he raised his arm to say he wasn't comfortable, so he will not be charged if that was the case. Now Bruny reorganizes himself, just gathers his thoughts again after that interruption in his preparation, goes through his routine. He's so experienced now, of course, that he knows exactly what to do in all circumstances.
4 times he has been a finalist in the 100 at the World Championships, starting with Tokyo in 1991. Again, Dobos, Harden, Surin, Thompson, Gardner, Myles-Mills, Ezinwa, and Lewis in lanes 1 through 8. The first 4 move on to the final of the men's 100. Bruny Surin comes flying out of the blocks. Tim Harden moving with him. It's Bruny Surin and Harden now making inroads as Obadele Thompson, but it's Bruny Surin easing up in 9.96. Oh, are we in for a final? He and Maurice Greene in identical clockings of 9.96.
And a negative wind, minus 0.3. Brilliant sprinting in that semi-final. Bruny looks up to have a look at himself. He should be very satisfied. He looked extremely relaxed and at ease with himself when he was sitting on his blocks waiting for the start. And he's showing here that he's going to be a distinct threat. Getting away beautifully to his left. Tim Harden of the United States trying to match strides with him. Obadele Thompson to his right. But now again in the last 30 meters, identical to Maurice Greene. He pulls away and now turns off the motors. A very commanding victory and a superb run by Bruny Surin. Relaxation, shoulders relaxed, very confident. This is what makes great sprinting.
Bruny Surin 9.96, the same as Maurice Greene. Tim Harden 10.05, Obadele Thompson 10.07, Jason Gardner, the 4th qualifier, in 10.10. What a final shaping up here at Olympic Stadium in Seville, Spain. More to come from the World Championships after this.
Maurice Greene, they ran together in the quarter.